Hey everyone, welcome back to Home Design. Let's be completely honest with ourselves for a moment. For most homeowners, the side yard is an absolute design afterthought. It's that awkward, narrow strip of land where we hide our trash bins, store the rusty lawnmower, and run the noisy air conditioning condenser. It's functional, sure, but it's completely devoid of life. It feels like an alleyway rather than an extension of your home. But what if I told you that this exact, cramped space holds the highest hidden design potential on your entire property? Welcome back, design lovers. Today, we are stepping into the timeless, romantic world of Hacienda architecture. We are going to completely redefine how you look at narrow spaces. The architectural philosophy of the classic Spanish and Mexican hacienda wasn't just built for grand, sprawling estates. Its core principles, sanctuary, texture, intimacy, and the seamless blur between the indoors and the outdoors, are actually the perfect antidote to the suffocating feel of a modern, narrow side yard. In this video, we aren't just looking at generic makeovers. We are breaking down a step-by-step master plan that turns a claustrophobic corridor into an intimate, old-world retreat. We will explore structural geometry, the ancient art of lime washing, the sensory magic of architectural water features, and how to select plants that thrive in these tricky microclimates. Now, designing a narrow space presents a massive psychological challenge. How do you stop the eye from seeing a straight, boring bowling alley? Later in this video, right around the halfway mark, I'm going to share a singular, counterintuitive architectural secret that completely solves this problem. It's a geometric design trick called the asymmetric arc pathway principle. It is a rule used by master landscape architects to trick the human brain into perceiving an 8-foot wide alley as a spacious, expansive courtyard. If you apply nothing else from this video except this one rule, your side yard will completely transform. So keep an eye out for that in just a few minutes. But before we lay a single stone, we have to understand the fundamental soul of hacienda design and how to compress those grand historic elements into a compact modern footprint. Segment 1. The soul of the hacienda, compressing grandeur. To understand why the Hacienda style works so beautifully in a narrow space, we have to look back at its architectural origins. Historically, the Hacienda was designed as a self-contained sanctuary. In arid, intense climates, homes were built with thick, protective exterior walls that opened inward to a central private courtyard. These courtyards were the heart of daily life, cool, shaded, intimate, and protected from the harsh winds and prying eyes of the outside world. When we look at a modern side yard, we are essentially looking at a slice of an open-air courtyard. The challenge is that we have high walls, usually our own house on one side and a boundary fence or neighbor's wall on the other, but we lack the inherent romance. To fix this, we need to lean into the concept of massing and rich materials. Hacienda design relies heavily on materials that look like they grew directly out of the earth. We are talking about thick, organic plaster surfaces, warm terracotta underfoot, exposed hand-hewn wood timbers, and hand-forged wrought iron. When you bring these materials into a tight space, something magical happens. The physical proximity of the walls forces you to interact with these textures up close. You can feel the coolness of the plaster. You can see the slight variations in the handmade tiles. The first mistake people make when trying to fix a narrow side yard is using thin, flimsy materials like cheap wood lattice or smooth, modern poured concrete. This only accentuates the artificial, modern boundaries of the lot. Instead, we want to create the illusion of permanence and weight. If you have an ugly wooden fence or a plain concrete block wall separating you from your neighbor, your very first step shouldn't be to hide it with plants. It should be to structuralize it. Framing that boundary with a thick hand-troweled stucco finish instantly changes the psychological weight of the space. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like a boundary line, it feels like the protective, ancient wall of a sanctuary. Segment 2, Vertical Alchemy, Making Walls Talk. In a narrow side yard, your vertical surfaces represent about 70% of what your eyes can actually see. If your walls are boring, your side yard will always feel like a corridor. We need to practice what I call vertical alchemy, transforming flat, dead vertical planes into dynamic, living tapestries. Let's start with the paint. Please step away from the standard exterior latex paints. Modern paint creates a plastic-like uniform film that feels completely flat and lifeless in a tight space. Instead, for a true hacienda aesthetic, you want to use a traditional lime wash or a high-quality mineral silicate paint. Lime wash actually penetrates the stucco or masonry, creating a breathable bond. As it cures, it develops a beautiful mottled suede-like patina that reacts dynamically to sunlight and moisture. Look at how the light hits this wall in the footage. The soft ivory, warm cream, or gentle terracotta tones don't just reflect light. They absorb it, creating a soft, ambient glow that makes the entire narrow space feel significantly warmer and more inviting. Once your canvas is prepped with the right wall finish, we introduce the jewelry of the hacienda: wrought iron and inset details. Because space is limited on the ground, we have to look for opportunities to go vertical. One of my favorite design interventions is creating architectural niches directly inside the stucco walls. If you are building a new wall or furring out an existing one, creating a shallow, arched inset niche lined with hand-painted talavera tiles gives the eye a captivating place to rest. It breaks up the monotony of a long wall and provides a beautiful stage for a single, potted succulent or a glowing candle at night. To balance the hard masonry, we introduce climbing flora. But here is an important design warning. Do not let vines grow wild and completely swallow your walls. If you cover the entire wall in solid green ivy, you will make the narrow space feel even smaller, darker, and incredibly claustrophobic. The secret is controlled contrast. Use custom-crafted wrought iron trellises that feature elegant, sweeping scrolls. Bolt them slightly off the wall to allow airflow, and train a colorful climber like bougainvillea, jasmine, or a creeping fig to grow along the ironwork. This allows the beautiful patina of the lime-washed wall to peek through, creating a stunning interplay of shadow, metal, and vibrant foliage. Segment 3, the mid-video pivot, the asymmetric arc pathway principle. All right, we have reached the core of our video layout. Earlier, I promised to share the ultimate geometric trick that completely destroys the claustrophobic bowling alley look of a narrow side yard. This is the asymmetric arc pathway principle, and it completely flips traditional landscape design on its head. When most people tackle a long, thin side yard, their natural instinct is to place a straight sidewalk right down the dead center, or to run a path tight against the house, leaving a straight planting bed on the other side. Architecturally, this is a catastrophic mistake. A straight line down a narrow corridor acts like a visual runway. It forces the human eye to travel instantly from the front of the space to the back, emphasizing the length and highlighting exactly how narrow the boundaries are. It tells your brain, this is a hallway. Walk through it as fast as possible. The asymmetric arc pathway principle does the exact opposite. Instead of a straight line, we break the path into a series of soft, alternating, asymmetrical curves or staggered geometric steps that wind from one side of the yard to the other. Look at this layout. The path starts on the left side, gently arcs over to touch the right wall, and then swings back toward the left. By shifting the path off-center, we force the eyes to travel in a relaxed, rhythmic zigzag pattern. Every time the path curves, it creates a visual speed bump. It slows down the viewer's psychological pace, transforming a hurried walk into a mindful journey. But here is where the true design genius comes in. At the apex of each curve, where the path swings away from the wall, it naturally creates deep asymmetrical pockets of space. We use these pockets to place our most important focal points. In one pocket, you might place a massive weathered terracotta oil jar, overflowing with soft, silver green agave. In the next pocket, across the path, you install a small bubbling water feature. Because the path wraps around these elements, you literally cannot see the entire side yard all at once. You create a sense of mystery and discovery. Your brain stops registering the space as an 8-foot wide alleyway and starts processing it as a series of distinct, intimate outdoor rooms. To execute this beautifully, use raw-edged materials for the pathway. Hand-laid saltillo tiles, reclaimed brick pavers, or irregular flagstone with creeping thyme growing in the joints work beautifully. The rough, imperfect edges blend naturally into the landscape, dissolving any harsh, restrictive boundary lines. Segment 4, the Symphony of Water, Acoustic Seclusion. Now that we have mastered the layout, we need to address an invisible factor that completely ruins the ambience of most side yards: sound. Because side yards are tucked tightly between two structures, they act like acoustic echo chambers. The sound of neighborhood traffic, barking dogs, or the dull hum of your own air conditioning unit bounces off the hard walls, amplifying the feeling that you are stuck in an uncomfortable utility zone. To build a true retreat, we have to fight sound with sound. This is where the acoustic magic of a Hacienda water feature comes into play. In a traditional courtyard, water is the central anchor. It cools the microclimate and brings a sense of life to the stone environment. In a narrow side yard, however, we don't have room for a massive freestanding circular fountain. We have to adapt. Your best friend in a narrow space is the wall-mounted fountain or the low-profile architectural water trough. A wall fountain made from hand-carved cantera stone or cast stone can be bolted directly onto your boundary wall, taking up zero precious floor space. When choosing a fountain for a narrow side yard, pay close attention to the type of water sound it produces. You want to avoid high-velocity, splashing waterfalls, which hit hard surfaces and create a chaotic, noisy chatter that disrupts conversation. Instead, you want a gentle, low-frequency bubble or a smooth, multi-tiered spillway. The goal is a deep, consistent murmur that successfully masks ambient neighborhood noise without overwhelming the quiet intimacy of the space. To maximize the impact, frame your water feature with vibrant Mexican tilework. Surrounding the water basin with hand-painted ceramic tiles creates a breathtaking, visual splash that catches the light even on overcast days. The water reflects off the glazed tile surfaces, bouncing playful ripples of light onto your lime-washed walls. This turns your water feature into a rich, multi-sensory experience that addresses both sight and sound perfectly. Segment 5, the microclimate jungle, texture and plant layering. Let's talk about plants. Side yards are notorious for creating highly challenging microclimates. Depending on how your home is oriented toward the sun, a narrow side yard is usually either a dark, deep shade canyon that never sees direct sunlight, or a brutal heat trap where the sun beats down from directly overhead at midday, baking the masonry walls. The mistake I see constantly is treating the planting bed like a flat, uniform line of matching shrubs. This looks incredibly sterile. To achieve an authentic Hacienda look, our plant palette needs to feel layered, structural, and texturally diverse. We build our botanical palette in 3 strict layers. First, we establish our background structural accents. These are the architectural anchors that draw the eye upward. Instead of planting wide trees that will crowd the pathway, look for columnar vertical growers. A classic choice is the Mexican fence post cactus, or an elegant, slim Mediterranean fan palm. If your space is too shady for cacti, look to the structural grace of a dwarf olive tree or a slender citrus tree, like a variegated pink lemon, planted in a massive weathered terracotta pot. The second layer is mid-tier texture. This is where we bring in the soft, romantic foliage that sways gently in the breeze, contrasting beautifully against the hard, solid walls. Think of silver-green plants like soft caress mahonia, structural agave attenuata, which has no dangerous sharp spines, or the delicate, cloud-like textures of Mexican feather grass. Finally, the third layer is the low-profile spillover. These are the small, resilient plants that tuck neatly around the edges of your pathway stones and spill out over the borders. Ground covers like woolly thyme, silver ponyfoot, or trailing purple lantana soften the transition between your hardscape and your landscape, making the garden look like it has been evolving naturally for decades. Designer pro tip: in a narrow space, always utilize the power of container clustering. Grouping handmade terracotta pots of varying heights in odd numbers 3s or 5s allows you to easily control the soil quality, move plants around as the seasons shift, and add instant old-world character to blank corners. Segment 6. Golden Hour Forever, Layered Illumination. A true hacienda landscape doesn't close up shop when the sun goes down. In fact, twilight is when this design style truly shines. Because narrow side yards are highly enclosed, they are the absolute perfect environment for creative, layered architectural lighting. If you rely on a single, harsh floodlight mounted on the eave of your roof, you will completely flatten the space, creating cold, uninviting highlights and terrifying, pitch-black shadows. We want to do the exact opposite. We want to layer soft, warm light sources low to the ground and midway up the walls to create depth and a rich sense of drama. We begin with our mid-level lighting, utilizing beautiful, hand-forged wrought iron wall sconces or hanging lanterns with warm, amber-tinted glass. Mounting these sconces at eye level along your main stucco wall instantly breaks up the vertical expanse and provides a soft, welcoming glow that mimics the romance of old candlelit corridors. Next, we introduce directional uplighting. By placing small, low-voltage LED well lights at the base of your structural plants, like your columnar cacti or your potted olive trees, and angling them upward, you cast magnificent, oversized shadows onto the textured, lime-washed walls behind them. This simple design move transforms your plants into living sculptures after dark, adding immense visual depth to the space. Finally, add subtle path lighting to ensure safety and continuity. Avoid those cheap, bright solar stakes that look like landing strips. Instead, opt for hidden, solid copper or brass fixtures tucked away inside the foliage that cast a gentle, downward glow directly onto your winding stepping stones. When you combine wall sconces, artistic uplighting, and low path lights, the walls of your side yard seem to recede into the darkness, leaving behind a glowing, romantic outdoor lounge that you'll never want to leave. It is truly incredible to think about what this space used to be. By moving away from straight lines, embracing rich earthborne textures, controlling acoustics with stone water features, and layering microclimate-ready plants, we have taken a forgotten utility alley and turned it into an exquisite romantic sanctuary. Your narrow side yard doesn't have to be a wasted space or a hidden storage zone for your trash cans. With the right layout and a commitment to the soulful principles of Hacienda design, it can easily become your absolute favorite room in the entire house. If you are ready to stop neglecting your side yard and start creating your own outdoor sanctuary, go ahead and hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that you value real, detailed design breakdowns. I want to hear from you down in the comments below. Which of these ideas are you going to implement first? Are you going to try out the asymmetric arc pathway principle? Or are you looking to add a beautiful stone wall fountain to your home? Let me know your thoughts, and let's talk layout design down below. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep architectural dives and transformation master plans. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep designing spaces that bring you joy. Adios.
Ba ba da ba da ba da ba ba.